Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, host of your show, and thank you so much for being with us today. An action-packed show today. We've got Luke Farabaugh, who is the general manager at the TPC, and Luke is going to be talking about programs at the TPC Louisiana as well as the upcoming Zurich Classic Golf Tournament. Girard Moutin III is with the Contemporary Latin Music in New Orleans, and Rolfes is the founding director of the Louisiana Bucket Brigade. Hanann is the winner of the Junior Achievement Idea Awards program. Got some great information we're going to be hearing from her. And then Courtney Johnson. Courtney is the program manager for the International House of Blues Foundation, and she's going to be sharing with us some successes that the International House of Blues Foundation has had here recently. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. We've got a great show lined up for you today, and what better way to start it off with one of our good friends, Luke Farabaugh. Luke is the general manager at TPC of Louisiana. I just noticed in Golf Week magazine, TPC Louisiana was listed as one of the top 5 courses in Louisiana. You probably didn't even know I read Golf Week magazine, did you?
No, yeah, absolutely. We're honored
but that's true.
In that designation. It's great to be always awarded those nice delegations.
Well, look, I got to tell you, it is just absolutely a tremendous facility. I love playing golf out there. The staff is, I've always wondered, I don't know what you feed and have those guys drink, but it is probably the best staff. You're just treated so courteous. It's just an overall experience that I think when golfers come to the TPC, they just walk away not only with an incredible golf course, but just treated like royalty. So congratulations on all you guys do. Congratulations also on your 10th anniversary. It just doesn't seem possible that you've been here for 10 years.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's felt like yesterday that we opened the property. It was April 20th, 2004. It's been almost 10 years now. We're getting ready to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. But it's amazing. It just felt like yesterday we were the new kid on the block, and here we are 9 tour events later, 7 Louisiana Amateur Association tournaments. Wow. So we're definitely a place to play competitive golf in the area.
And Luke, the key thing that I really want to stress, I mean, there's a lot about the golf course that some of the programs that you have, we'll talk about that. But and it sounds crazy to say this, but the TPC Louisiana is a public golf course. And I say that because I hear all the time people tell me, oh, I'd love to play out there, but it's private. I'm not a member. It is a public golf course.
Yeah, many people associate with a PGA Tour event golf course as a private facility, and we definitely are not. We're owned by the state of Louisiana. We're open to the public, so anyone can play. We do have great discounts for Louisiana residents, as well as a great playing opportunity for Louisiana residents that like to play a lot of golf called our annual pass.
Yeah, and you also teach. I mean, it's a great place to go. You've got an incredible staff, an incredible, probably one of the best practice facilities in the entire state. So you've got the staff, the practice facility. Now that the Huey Long Bridge is finished, it's easy to get to.
It's definitely easier to get in and out on the West Bank. But you referenced our great staff and our PGA Tour, our PGA golf professionals. We have free fittings every Friday. So again, amazing grass practice facility where you can come out, get fitted, hit the ball off a tee, watch it fly through the air, hit it off a turf. So there's no better place in the area to get fitted for golf clubs.
And I got to tell you, I drive over there at least once a week just to have lunch because you have an incredible grill. Again, you don't have to be a member to be there, so just an incredible lunch. Before we run out of time, real quick, let's talk about the Zurich Classic. That's the bread and butter of what everybody knows you guys for. That's coming up on, I believe, a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, April 24th through 27th. We got a great list of returning players as well as world-ranked players: Justin Rose, Ernie Els, Keegan Bradley, defending champion. Billy Horschel's coming back, so and also a bunch of Louisiana locals, Patrick Reed, David Toms, Michael Thompson, who played at Tulane for a little bit. So they're all coming back. It's going to be a great event. Really excited to host the tour event. And if there's any information anyone needs to know about the tournament, ZurichGolfClassic.com is your one-stop source for information on the tournament.
Now, Luke, when will you guys close the course for the tournament? I mean, there's got to be at some point you'll stop play.
Yeah, our last day available for play is Sunday, April 13th.
Okay.
And then we're closed for a full week. We call it Advance Week, where we do all the final preparation, little detail work
Okay.
Getting ready for the tour event, and then we have the actual competitive week of pro-ams and then competitive event Thursday through Sunday.
Luke, they're telling me to wrap it up. I could sit here and talk to you all day, but again, the TPC Louisiana, I play out there all the time. Don't just come to see me. Come out there to play golf. It's probably one of the best places in the state, one of the top 5 courses in the state to play golf. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Again, a great show lined up today, and we're just going to keep it rolling with Girard Moutin III. Girard is with the Contemporary Latin Music in New Orleans, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. A first-time guest. We always love having our first-time guest on the show. Girard, tell me a little bit about the mission of Contemporary Latin Music in New Orleans.
The mission of Contemporary Latin Music in New Orleans is to educate the public about the role Latin musicians from the Caribbean, Central America, and South America played in the early days of the birth of jazz in New Orleans. That time period will go from 1890 to approximately 1920.
Oh, wow.
Now, contemporary Latin music in New Orleans, the project with photographer Gustavo Escanel. He also is the photographer of New Orleans Pelicans basketball team. And I'm doing
good correlation there.
Yes, yes. And I'm doing the photo history and the research on some of the old photographs pertaining to Latin musicians here in New Orleans.
Wow. From a photographic standpoint, how far back do you go back that you have photographs of?
We can go back to at least 1900. Now, in 1920, there was a photographer, part of the Spanish diaspora from the Philippines, came here to New Orleans, and he took a picture of Armand Perron's jazz band in West End, and this was in 1920. His name was Vivencio Sosa, and he lived on Dauphine Street in the 1920s. I found that information by doing research in some of the city directors from that time period.
Wow. I mean, is it easy to find that kind of information?
No, it is not. You just have to go to the library, third floor, the Louisiana division, and there are reference librarians who are very helpful.
Wow. Talk about your tie, in reading your information here, talk about your tie with Jazz Fest and what you're doing with Jazz Fest. I think that's extremely exciting.
This Jazz Fest 2014, it opens on April 25th. On that day, that will be one of the biggest days, this Jazz Fest for Latin music. There's going to be Carlos Santana and Ruben Blades playing that same day. And we're going to have some local jazz musicians from the Latin community.
Yeah.
Alexi Marti, he's a Cuban percussionist. He will be playing that day also. There will be, in the grandstand at the, in the Allison Minor stage, they will also talk. Now, in the grandstand on the first floor, that's where the exhibition, Contemporary Latin Music in New Orleans, that's where you'll be able to see some of the work that Gustavo and I have done.
Wow. And what type of work will people see that come in? And I'm sure once you get into Jazz Fest, the exhibit's all apart. I mean, there's no special fee to get in the exhibit.
Fee. Once you come to Jazz Fest, it's everything you can do with the exhibition is free.
Where do you know exactly where you'll be located at as far as Jazz Fest?
The bottom of the grandstand near the lanyard stage. There's a big area right there.
So you're going to be in a covered area?
Oh yes.
Okay.
You have refuge from the heat and from any of the elements of the weather.
And okay, so Girard, tell me again now. What if I come and visit? What will I see actually?
You'll see some of the photographs from Tulane's Hogan Jazz Archives, and that relate to the early days of jazz. And then you're going to see Gustavo's photographs of some Alexi Marti or Roberto Fonseca when he appeared at the House of Blues, and several of the local groups, and some of my photographs also. Yeah. Also, a good friend of mine, Lucas Barrios, he has some pictures from the early days of Carnival Latino that was held here in New Orleans at City Park and at the foot of Canal Street.
Wow, that's incredible. So, Gerard, we got to wrap it up. But again, for our audience, this sounds like a golden opportunity to see something again. Classic history of New Orleans, and what better place to see that than at Jazz Fest. Gerard, please come back. We always love having our historians on the show. We'd love to hear more information as the year progresses, other things that you're involved in. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Got a jam-packed show today, and what better way to finish it up with Ann Rolfes. Ann is the founding director of the Louisiana Bucket Brigade. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
First
me.
time to be on the show.
It is.
So what I like to ask with our first-time guest, Louisiana Bucket Brigade, tell us a little bit about the mission of your organization, what you do, and so forth.
Well, the short version is that our goal is to end accidents in the oil industry, which would be great for everybody in this state, including all the oil companies themselves. So there are thousands of accidents in the Gulf of Mexico every year just off of Louisiana by the oil industry. And then onshore, the refineries in our state average several hundred a year also. So we know it's long past time to clean that up. And again, it's the rare example of a win-win. It would certainly be good for our environment and our health, and it would certainly be better for the oil industry.
So, do you do like training classes or things like that, or?
Well, we work with people who live right next door to the oil refineries and help them to take air samples and document the problem so that they have some information with which to advocate.
Oh, I
Because
gotcha.
unfortunately, the oil industry right now really sticks its head in the sand and says, oh, we don't have a problem, everything's fine. And our job at this moment in time is to get them to recognize and acknowledge their problem. And we hope in the future that they will work with us to sit down and solve it.
Would you say that you have a successful relationship right now, or are you working toward making that happen?
Well, we would love for it to be successful. You know, just like when there is crime in a neighborhood, the police department really urges neighbors to call in and report crimes. Our model is that we work with neighbors of refineries who report problems and say there's a spill, there's a flame, there's some problem. At this point in time, the refineries don't want to acknowledge it. They're making a lot of money, right? They don't really have to pay attention to the little old lady down the street. But I'm really optimistic that at some point they'll actually realize that we're an asset and not a problem.
Well, I'll tell you why I find that interesting. I live in St. Charles Parish.
Oh, there you go.
We have a
Yes,
lot.
you know.
I am the little old lady down the
Yes, that's
street
right.
because with a lot of the refineries out there, you see a lot. I mean, and I just don't know enough about it to know what to report or don't report. I know people do because I see it all the time. Your website is labucketbrigade.org.
That's
so
right.
If I go to that site, I mean, let's just say, for example, if I wanted to report something, could I do it on that site?
You could do it, and we have something called an eyewitness pollution map. And so we encourage people to go to our website and then file a report. Or with your phone, it's 504-2727-OIL. You can call or text a report of pollution. And, you know, in a place like St. Charles Parish, where there are people living very near to the facilities, and the air quality is really affected. And so, just again, like a neighborhood watch, we urge people to call in, report the problem in hopes that we can solve it.
I got to tell you, that, I mean, that just for where I live, it sounds like something that's so essential that I didn't know existed. So, I mean, that is good. Real quick before we run out of time, April the 19th, you have your Earth Day Festival.
Our Earth Day Festival, which is when people can come and, of course, learn more about what we do, but also learn about Solar Alternatives, which is a great solar company that's trying to really get us less dependent on the oil that causes so much pollution. So Saturday, April 19th, Stooges Brass Band, Treme Brass Band in Armstrong Park.
And free to the public?
Free. Oh, yes, good point. Yeah, it's free, and you can learn a lot about companies that are working to make Louisiana a green state, because, you know, we're a beautiful state.
Absolutely.
And we've got to save it.
And great to have you on the show. Please come back, give us updates on things that are going on. Again, I just find it fascinating because I live in St. Charles Parish, and I always think about those things, but I've always wondered who could I call if there was something out there.
Well,
now,
you're the person.
Now I know who to call.
Now you can just make a report. You've got the power.
And thank you so much for being on the show. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Just a fact-filled show today, and we're going to keep that process going with Miss Maddie Hanann. Maddie is the winner of the Junior Achievement Contest, and Maddie won. Your idea was Infinite Design Clothing.
Yes.
Congratulations. I wish I could show this picture on camera that you're standing beside, because I got to tell you, this is phenomenal work. So talk about you, and you were one of 4 finalists, and you're with Junior Achievement, if correct me if I'm wrong here, but you pretty much design and put a business in place, and so obviously you beat out the other businesses for your idea. Okay, did I get that close to right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So where did the Infinite Designs Clothing, where did that idea come from?
I was looking online for shorts, and that's what I make, high-waisted shorts, and I really liked some, and I wanted them, but they were too expensive, so I started making them, and then my friends wanted them, and then their friends wanted them, so it was kind of just a domino effect. And the name, I just kind of was like, I like infinite and infinity sign, so I just kind of like made it up on the spot.
So you were actually making and designing these shorts all at the same time?
Yes.
Wow. So putting business practices into place
Yes.
as you were doing this. So how did you get involved in the Junior Achievement part of this? What steps did you take to do that?
Well, they sent out emails and letters to all the schools about this scholarship, because this is the first year they've done it, the Young Entrepreneur Scholarship. And my teacher asked if anyone wanted to do it. And since I had already had this in the process, I decided I should, go for it, since it was unique, and most teenagers don't really have their own business.
No, they do not. They do
so
not.
I just, signed up for it, and then they picked me, so that's how I got involved.
Now, Maddie, you're with Mount Carmel Academy.
Yes.
Were others in Mount Carmel Academy in the same judging, so to speak, as you were?
Yes, they had 2 other girls who made it to the Sweet 16. So there's 16 groups out of the 70 applicants, and 3 of them are from Mount Carmel. And I was the only one from Mount Carmel who made it to the Final 4, which was the next step.
Wow. And now, competing against you, was it people just from the Metro New Orleans area, or other states, or?
It was pretty much all from the New Orleans area. It was pretty local, because every Wednesday we would meet at a workshop, so they wanted to try to keep it local so everyone could come in and not have to drive for a long time.
Yeah. Now, you said this was a scholarship, and you're the winner, so will you be using this money to go to a university in the future, and what university would that be?
Yes, I'm going to LSU next year, so all of the money I receive will be going towards that.
So what will happen now with Infinite Designs once you go to LSU? Will you continue to operate that, or?
I'm going to try. It might be different, living up there instead of being in my house, but I'll definitely always keep it in my back pocket, because it's always something I can always do. Even if it's not online, I always have people ask me to just make them shorts, even if we're just passing each other in the hallway. So.
Now, before we run out of time, I got to share, because we were talking about fashion before we went on the air here, and I said, is fashion something that you're going to do for your future? You said, no, I want to be a vet.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, listen, congratulations
Thank you.
I mean, that's just incredible that you won this over 70 other applicants, and
Thank you.
congratulations on the scholarship, and most importantly, being a vet. Absolutely, I joked about that, but nothing wrong with that at all.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck to you in your future endeavors, and you could not pick a better school than LSU, so congratulations with that.
Thanks.
Stay with us, we'll have one more guest, and we will be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Just a fact-filled show today with 5 guests, and we always save the best for last, and we do that
Absolutely.
with Courtney Johnson. Courtney is the program manager for the New Orleans House of Blues Foundation, and she works out of the New Orleans, Houston, and Orlando market. And man, if I had 3 markets I was going to pick, that would be it. Congratulations on that. Courtney, welcome to the show, first of all, but
Thank
talk
you.
a little bit about the International House of Blues Foundation, because I honestly, I know we as Cox, we remember the foundation room for many years, and there's so much more to the House of Blues and a place that has great music and a place to eat, and that so much more is the foundation. And talk a little bit about that and some of the successes that you have and sort of the mission of that organization.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, the House of Blues is known as a multifaceted music and entertainment venue. But the International House of Blues Foundation is the independent 501c3 component of the House of Blues. And what we do is we work to basically connect and leverage. And what we do is we connect young musicians to music experiences, and then we also leverage strategic partnerships in the community to be able to provide various opportunities for kids to perform and experience the music industry. So
Now,
basically,
would they
we are
play
the
at the
outreach
House? Would they
side
play at the House of Blues? I mean, would they play at that location?
Absolutely. Some of what we do, we create, we inspire, and we educate. And one of the main things we do is create performance opportunities for young people, and we have several initiatives that allow them to actually perform in a state-of-the-art facility and bring down the house. We have one initiative called Bringing Down the House, and it's a youth showcase concert. And in that, young musicians come in and they're able to perform on stage, and they get full-on sound checking experiences, and it's been going on now for 5 years, but we're branching out to not only have the showcase and concert opportunity for them, but they get to have hands-on skills where we're doing workshops and teaching them about the music industry. So it's absolutely wonderful. But to answer your question, we absolutely provide performance opportunities for young musicians in our community.
Let me ask you, and your website is www.ihobf.org.
Absolutely.
I, as a young musician, and if I'm watching the show right now and I hear what you just described, how can I be a part of that? How can I find out more information on how I can do that?
As you just mentioned, of course, they can check www.ihobf.org. They can contact us, but during the year, we reach out to music directors, schools, community-based organizations to get our pool of students.
Okay.
So our youth that we service, it's the entire community.
Gotcha.
And our programs are open and available, and we try to strategically approach providing services to the underserved community.
Okay.
So we do community outreach. Our programs are available and open to all, and all they need to do is give us a call, and we will provide the opportunities.
And you have, obviously, you have a lot of partners in place now that you're working with too. You've got some great events coming up here. The Action for Arts Grant. Talk about some of the activities you've got coming up.
I sure will. Well, the Action for the Arts Grant, the piece that you just mentioned, on April 15th, we will actually be doing the RFP launch. And our Action for the Arts campaign, it's absolutely wonderful. We provide resources and support, financial grants, to schools and community-based organizations. And for example, in 2013 alone, we provided $250,000 in support to schools and community organizations. Wow. So April 15th, if folks go to our website, they can see the opportunity there, apply for the support, and that, you know, get the ball rolling. Additionally, we have some young musicians, because once again, the performance opportunity part and inspiring them in the music industry, we have I think it's 4 or 5 groups that will be performing at the French Quarter Festival.
Oh wow, that's great.
Via
Courtney, they're
House
telling
of
me
Blues stage.
they're
Okay.
wrapping me up. So before they throw something at me,
problem.
yeah, that's all right. Look, but what I want to do is I want to finish with having you please come back on the show, talk more about these opportunities that come up, because I know with the foundation you've got things that are happening all year long. We'd love to have you come back and talk more about this. Congratulations on the success you guys are having, because again, I mean, everybody loves the House of Blues. I just don't think enough people know all the great things that you guys are doing. I'm being told we're about to run out of time. Steve Sawyer across Louisiana, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.